Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, citizens of all ages, welcome back to another edition, Star Citizen 3.18 PTU. And today, I bring to you the Drake Vulture. Now, the Drake Vulture is a salvage ship. It is the starter salvage ship. So if you do want to go out there and become a salvager, the Vulture is not a bad place to start. It's got the nice yellow livery, so you can definitely tell that it is more of a utility vehicle. And we're going to take a quick peek at some of the items and some of the cool little mechanics that the Drake Vulture brings along with it to its debuting role in the verse. So in all of my ship tours, I like to do a couple of 360s, kind of get a good vibe for the outside of the ship and the profile. But next, we are going to do a speed test. Now, I am doing this while initiating boost, which I think is actually plainly obvious now. The point of this is to see A, how fast it accelerates with boost, and B, its top speed. Now, the Vulture moves pretty quickly for a utility vehicle, a specific job role vehicle, and it tops out at 1,111 kilometers a second, which that's got some get up and go for essentially a tractor. It does have two laser repeaters. They are gimbaled, so you won't be completely defenseless. Here I am pulling out the salvage arms. There appear to be two different modes to salvage. The only difference really that I've noticed is that the cinch scraper module is kind of the more smaller focused, while the abrada scraper module is kind of the larger area scraping tool. It does a much larger area as opposed to the cinch. I did do a little bit of testing on it, and that's kind of what I was able to tell. So next we're going to take a look at the insides. Now obviously we are in the bridge or the cockpit area. There are some components in here, but they seem like they are not accessible at this time. Got the computer module and the scanning and radar modules. Hopefully those will come online sometime relatively soon. Moving along, going to take a look at the cabin a little bit more. Then we are going to make our way into the living space. Also checked out the lights. So it does have a light button, much like a lot of the newer ships, the recently installed mechanic there. Now we have more components. These ones are actually accessible. Got our coolers, power plant, dual power plants, excuse me. From there, turn right around and we have the patented Drake Shoilet, the shower toilet combo. It does open, and also have the access panel there, and it is functional. From there, of course, we've got the bed. You can sit and lie down on it, just like, wouldn't you know, a fucking bed. Now, it looks like that might be a repair module, repair bay, more component spaces that don't seem to be activated. Either that or it's some sort of food type of thing, but I'm pretty sure it's like a smaller repair bay. Going into the hallway, we have the storage closet, which will probably be for suits. It didn't activate the inventory when I was messing with it. Also got the weapon racks as well. The inventory will probably be like the more physicalized one. We've got the quantum drives here as well, and the life support module, which also is not accessible at this time. Turning around, we have the next panel, which also does the lights and opens and locks the doors. From here, we are going to check out the below decks area. Have a nice ladder, so you don't have to worry about if electricity goes out, and the lights are controllable from the top and the bottom. From there, we're going to move into the cargo hold. On your right here, we have the salvage mechanism, where it will process all the salvage materials, turn them into cargo boxes or into potentially usable materials that you can load in to the new attachment for salvaging by hand. That is where the little cubes are going to kick out, as far as I'm aware. Looking around, nothing interactable on that wall there, whereas on the opposite side we have our shield generators. It does have 2 shield generators, which again, for a kind of a smaller, medium-small ship, pretty decent amount of components. And here's the view from the rear. Gonna check out the lights. Here's the view with the lights off, and turn them back on. From there, we're going to head outside just to give a little bit of scale. And there's actually one neat little thing I think a lot of people will be excited for. So check this out. Now, from the rear, we're going to circle around, so we'll be able to kind of get a better sense of scale. Not sure if the ladder, is actually interactable or not. At least in 0G it doesn't appear to be. It might be once it's on the ground, but I haven't gotten that far yet. Floating up and around here, I do have to say I really do kind of dig the way that the Vulture looks. You know, it's kind of, I don't know, it really kind of gives you that feel of like a tractor or, you know, a bucket loader, especially from the front end view. But now here's the thing that made me really excited. Once you walk up to the side of it, or float up in my case, you can open up the side door, and lo and behold, yes, you can enter it right from there. Don't mind the wonky camera, it wasn't it wasn't behaving. But from there, you can enter and exit from that seat. Also, the camera seems to be a little wonky in 3.18. So yes, you can enter and exit, but from what I've seen, you can't just look over to the side to exit. As you'll see in a second, you actually have to look down on the control panel to exit 0G. All the buttons are kind of in there pretty tightly, so you might have to look around a little bit. But there you go. You can freely enter and exit from the cab, which I think is a super awesome little detail to throw in. Moving into the arms, much like the Banu Defender has. Now here I could have swore salvage material was supposed to go in there, but that's not exactly how salvage works. And if you stay tuned, I'm going to show you exactly how that goes. Getting up close and personal now with the salvage mining head. At least it looks like the mining head, but it works very similarly, so I'm going to call it the salvage mining head. And yeah, that is basically the Vulture in a nutshell. However, I do have something else I'd like to show you. Now, it took me way too long to get into the PTU to get this footage, but good news, the ladder on the side of the Vulture is in fact usable to get up to the cabin. Now, I didn't think this video would be complete without actually showing the salvage function. Now here is what happens if you try to salvage a ship that isn't completely dead. I was able to get this Gladius into soft death. It was still showing up, still life signs, which I didn't get the scan. But as you see, when you try to salvage a ship that is still soft death or partially alive, you will not be able to do so. So pro tip, if you're having issues with the Vulture in trying to salvage a ship, give it a couple of quick extra shots from your cannon just to make sure that it's in actual full death. Then you should be able to salvage the materials. Kind of like this. Once you've killed it, you'll see now it's going green. We can get up close a little bit and personal, and we can start salvaging the hull. One thing I really like is the effect of it like burning through. Ever since the damage shaders came in, I've always wanted just a firing range where you could just load up a ship, no shields, and just start shooting it with all different weapons to see all the cool damage effects. that dream has partially now come true for me, and I am so excited. I cannot wait to follow around my friends in a Vulture, mopping up all of their kills, all their messes, and making some buku bucks. Now, I also thought this would not be a complete video without showing as much detail as possible. So here's a little bit more brighter view of exactly what's going on when you're salvaging. And then this is the other salvage mode that's kind of like a wider area, and it seems to do it a little bit faster. Personally, I'm still not sure what the exact difference is between the two modes, but here's a little bit more of a close-up to what's going on. Something you'll notice, when the salvage lasers go over a different item, it'll actually turn red. If it turns red, from my experience, that's something either you cannot salvage or is like a weapon or a missile or something along those lines. Of course, once you're done salvaging, you're going to go into the belly of your ship to the salvage device. In order to get a cargo cube, you need to have filled out the entirety. But you can always make a canister of SRT if you have any materials for your hand salvage gun.